everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm April Davis with April Davis Creations. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and this is Thursday, August the 8th, but I'm not live. So let me tell you what's going on. I kind of had to change up my schedule just a little bit because I was in Massachusetts, in Boston, the first part of this week, Monday through Wednesday, which shouldn't have affected tonight, except Monday night I was supposed to have class, and they ended up doing a going away dinner for myself and one other person that's actually leaving our department. As you're all aware, the end of the month I am retiring, which is very, very exciting. But that said, this was my last trip to Boston. So anyway, they had a dinner for me Monday night. My instructor for my class tonight, or Monday night, was gracious enough to say, oh, let's do it on Thursday night then. The problem with Thursday night is I'm home, but I also had my Facebook Live tonight. So what I'm doing, just to accommodate both, being flexible, is I'm recording my to-go class now, and I will make sure that it gets posted by 7 p.m., which is when I normally do my Facebook Live. I'll have it posted at 7, so you guys can still watch it. Of course, it'll also be uploaded onto YouTube, but you guys will still be able to watch it, and then I can be in class because my class goes from 6 to 9. So anyway, just being a little bit flexible here. Before I get started, because tonight's exciting. Tonight we're going to be focused on fun folds. And I love fun folds. They're one of my favorite things to do. And so I want to be able to focus on the fun folds. So as a result of that, I just want to give you a quick update of some of the things that are going on. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. For example, we have our DSP sale going on right now, 15% off of all of our DSP. So if you're interested in any of the DSP, if you need to stock up on any of the DSP, please go out to the online store and check it out, because DSP, when it goes on sale, goes fast, and I don't want you to miss out. The other thing that's going on is my Create Happiness Club subscription. That closes on August the 10th. So today's the 8th. It will be over, or it will close. Subscriptions will close on August the 10th. So please do go out to my website. I'm going to actually put my website up here for you guys. But go out and check out my website. All the information is there. It is a subscription club. So once you do sign up for it, then what I do, it's an every other month club. All I do is bill for it instead of an automatic payment. I bill for it every other month. And when you sign up for it, you're signing up for the subscription. So anyway, more information on my website about that. The last thing I wanted to mention is the Fusion Fest Techniques class that I'm partnering with Tina Kvarchik in Canada. That is going to be the 27th, 28th, and 29th of September. I don't want you to miss out on that. Lots and lots and lots of fun techniques that we're going to be sharing with you so that you can take your cards and step them up a notch. So those are the main things that are going on right now. What I want to do is I want to spend time on the cards that we're doing tonight. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to bring my workstation up for you guys. I'll take this down, and let me just show you the cards. So again, fun fold. And I've decided, I really did love these. Let me see if I can get this on screen. This Hearts and Hugs stamp set. I wasn't too sold on it initially, but since I have been utilizing it, I've really fallen in love with it. So I'm bringing it back again, but this time with the fun fold. So we're doing Hearts and Hugs on both the stamps and the dies, and we're creating these fun folds. So this is the first card that I've got to share. Then we've got this card with the little mouse, fun fold there. And then this last one with our big walruses, this one fun folds this way. Hopefully you guys can see that. So we're gonna start with this one. And I'm gonna bring the kit out, and basically with this particular card, we've got 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight cardstock. I've got a couple of pieces of Designer Series paper. This is the Country Lace Designer Series paper. I've got a small piece here. I've got a piece of basic white cardstock that is going to be our fun fold. I'll share this with you in just a second. I've got a couple of banners that we need to stamp on. And then I have a heart, and I've incorporated this heart in a number of the cards tonight. But this is the Adoring Hearts and Dies embossing folder. I believe I used it last week as well. And what's fun about this embossing folder is you have the embossing folder, but you also have the dies inside as well. So not only are you able to cut out the hearts, but you get this fun embossed look on the hearts as well. So I've incorporated them into our cards tonight as well. So let me put this off to the side, and we will go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some stamping. Oh, I forgot to mention I've got a circle in my envelope as well. And of course, the circle is created from my favorite set, the Stylish Shape dies. So the banners are coming from the Stylish Shape dies. The circles, the stitched circles are coming from the Stylish Shape dies. And then I did also on some of the other cards use some of our circle punches. So let's go ahead and get started with our stamping so that we can start to assemble this card. And basically what I've done is I'm using a stamp positioner that I have. This is not the Stampin' Up stamp positioner, the Stamparatus. This is actually a Misty stamp positioner that is put out by My Sweet Petunia. If you have a stamp positioner, I recommend that you have one just because it makes it easy when you're stamping various things. You don't have to have one. You can use your acrylic block to stamp, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this set up for my little walruses, and then I'm going to use my Memento black ink to go ahead and get them pressed. And because I'm going to be coloring them in, and you'll notice as I get to the other cards, I've really kind of done a few things ahead of time just because I want to have more time to spend with you guys on the fun fold aspect of this. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp these guys down, and you know, it's good. It's good. I think it's a little light right here. So basically what I can do is I can come back in with my ink, and maybe I want this to be a little bit darker since I'm coloring it in. And that's the nice thing about the stamp positioner is I can stamp again, and it's perfect. It's perfect. Whereas if you were using just an acrylic block, it would be hard to line things up. So I'm going to go ahead and use my chamois this time, and I'm going to use my chamois to clean up my stamp. I'll pull this out, and I'm just going to set this off to the side. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some coloring really quick. We're going to use the Smoky Slate Stampin' Blends. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all of them in this light smoky slate with the exception of their noses and their tusks. And then I'll come in after I get done and I'll do just a little bit of accenting. But I'm going to go ahead and get the tight areas right now so I don't color in their tusks. And while I'm coloring, my trip to Boston was so nice. I mean, I'm going to miss the people that I'm working with, but I'm so excited about retirement. I was in the office yesterday, and you know, I was talking to several different people, and I was just telling them how much I really enjoyed coming into the office. You know, I work from home, so I only go into the office maybe a couple times a quarter, maybe not so often always, but I was just there a little over a month ago. But I love the office, and I love seeing all the people in the office. But I told him, I said, you know, I'm so excited about retiring that even though I'm going to miss being in the office, I'm not going to miss it enough to change my mind. So for a lot of these people, I work through the end of the month, but for a lot of people that I was seeing in the office, it would be the last time, most likely, that I will be seeing them. So there were a lot of hugs and goodbyes, but I am excited for this next chapter in my life. So that was fun. No issues with the airlines. I flew Delta. I know Delta has been having all kinds of problems lately. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I feel like my pen is starting to run out of ink. I'm going to have to get that taken care of, get a new blender pen. So bear with me as I try to get this coloring done with what's left of my ink. Anyway, no issues with the airlines at all. My flights were actually early, and it was nice. No delays. I am able to get a direct flight from Kansas City to Boston, which is nice. It's about a 3.5 hour flight. So I appreciate the fact that I can get home in about 3.5 hours and not have to change planes. But they only have like the one flight, so I have to be a little bit flexible as far as when I'm going to travel, because if I want to go at a different time, I've got to pick a different flight, which means then that I have to connect. All right, so we're going to do that. I'm going to do a little bit of accenting here just to kind of give them a little bit of shading, and then we'll be done with this guy. And then the other pieces I've already done the coloring on, but I wanted to go ahead and just do a little bit. When I'm creating these cards, I don't want you to think that I don't do them from scratch. I'm inspired by many, many demonstrators, and then I create my cards based on, what they have shared and what works best for me. But when I'm doing a class like this, a to-go class like this, and I'm trying to keep this under the hour, or at least at the hour, because again, I have class that I have to attend. I went ahead and did up a number of things ahead of time so that we could make this go just a little bit faster. Just know that when you're creating these cards, you will have to build in your time for your coloring. And you can color with the blends, you can color with pencils, you can color with your markers, you can do it kind of as a water painting with your inks. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but I've just opted to use my Stampin' Blends. All right, let me put on a couple of little noses for these guys, and I'm just gonna do some little dots here for some little cheeks for them. It's not gonna show up that much. You'll be able to see it in real life, but you can't maybe see them on the camera. I gotta get his lip here. I missed his lip. Okay, so these guys are colored. So what we're gonna do is we're going to finish our stamping, and I'm gonna bring out a piece of my Designer Series paper. Again, this is the Country Lace, and I have some Smoky Slate ink. And let me see, I need to pull out my hearts that are part of this. So let me pull out the hearts, and we'll put them on a block. Let's see, I'll put them on this one. No, I'm gonna go with a smaller block. I've got a smaller block, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm just going to place some hearts. I know my walruses are gonna go here. So what I wanna do is I wanna kind of place my hearts around there. So I'm gonna move this out of the way, maybe go this way, and let's see, maybe I'm just kind of looking. Let's go this way, and we'll put some down here. Oops. And you want to make sure that you get them, because see, I'm not going to be able to line this up, and I missed. So I'm going to try to do it this way and see if I can do it a little bit better. All right, we got that. And next thing we need to stamp is our sentiment. And I actually think, let me look here. Yes, I have 2 sentiments. So I have another little critter. Where'd my other little critter go? Is he still in the envelope? I may have put him, oh, he is still in the envelope. So I've already got him colored up. He is a hamster, a gerbil. I think we've had this debate before. I don't know what he is, but he's gonna go on the inside. So I've got 2 banners that I need to stamp. One banner is going to say sending a big hug, and the other banner is gonna say I could just hug you. So let's go ahead, sending a big hug, and then the other one is I could just hug you. And we're going to do both of those in the Misty Moonlight ink. So let's go ahead and move this off to the side, and then we've got some inside stamping that we need to do as well. So let's go ahead and get these stamped. Make sure I get the right side up. And pardon me if I get my head in the way, but I want to make sure I get this centered good for me. Okay, so we're going to do I could just hug you. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and then we'll clean them both in a minute. So, and then sending, here we go again. Sorry about my head. Sorry. Right about there. Okay, so sending a big hug. So let me clean these off. And then I actually need to, let's see. There we go. I'm gonna bring my smoky slate back out again. Just double checking. I have a piece of white cardstock that is going in here. It's actually this piece that's folded. Oh my goodness, what did I do, guys? You see that? I got ink on me somehow. All right, well, so when that happens, I have baby wipes. And the baby wipes are there just in case I have an issue. And I'm not even sure how I did that, but I did. And I actually have it on my cardstock too. This isn't gonna come out of my cardstock, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can arrange my cardstock so that it's not going to show up. This was not in the plans, but since it did happen, I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna fix it. All right, so pretty much got the ink off my hand. Let me see where we're at with this. This is gonna go like this. Oh, lucky me, this goes to the back of the card. I'll show you that in just a second. This is gonna be the inside of the card. So we are going to take this piece of designer series paper and we're gonna put it across the bottom. And I'm just double checking to see what I'm doing. Okay, I wanna get my hearts out again, my smoky slate. And we're going to stamp some hearts here. And then we're also gonna stamp some hearts up here. Okay, so let me see, did I go too high with that? Maybe I did. Maybe I need to stamp some more right here. I just want them to be able to show. All right, so let's clean this off. I've got my chamois and my other chamois. All right, so let's close this up. And let's see, any more stamping I need to do? Just double checking. Nope. So let's go ahead and start building this card. So let's build the front of the card first. And this is the area where our walruses are gonna go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this lined up the way that I want it. And we'll just go ahead and use glue. I'm gonna take the glue and go around. I'm trying to see if I need to maybe come in just a little bit more so you guys can see a little bit better. I always worry about doing that because when I do that, then sometimes I find myself working down too low and then I'm off screen, and I don't want to be off screen for you guys. So let's go ahead and get this centered up the way that I want it. I think that's good. I'm gonna twist these guys just a little bit. And then I've got my little heart here. So the heart is actually going to go on dimensionals. So let me pull the dimensionals out. And let's see. And my tweezers. Do I have my tweezers? Looking, there they are. I just like to work with my tweezers. All right, so let's go ahead and get these on. And then I will use my take your pick to take the backs off. Okay, that in the bin. And then we'll go ahead and get this heart on. And then sending a big hug. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put dimensionals on each side of the banner. Since the heart is already popped up, the center of the banner will just go over the top of the heart, and it doesn't need any dimensionals or any glue. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place this right about here, I think. As I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I think I want more hearts too, because I feel like my hearts are kind of hidden. So I'm gonna bring out my gray again, my smoky slate, and I'm just gonna do another set of hearts up here. And I think I'll do another set of hearts up here. when you're doing your hearts, if you're planning them ahead of time, you just got to double check to see where all of your pieces are going, because sometimes they will get hidden. The good news is that you can add more later. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I have another piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to center this piece on my basic white cardstock. So we'll get that layered. Lots of layers to this card. Makes it fun. All right, so we'll get this down. Of course, I use my glue so that I can get things centered the way that I like them. I can slide it up and around just to make sure I get it where I want it to be. All right, and then last but not least, we've got a piece of the Misty Moonlight, and we are going to layer it on the Misty Moonlight. So let's go ahead and do that. And then this front part will be done, and we can work on the inside. And then I'll show you how the fun fold goes together. And do remember, as I go through all of this, I don't, when I do my to-go classes, typically talk about dimensions. All of the dimensions are in the tutorial. This is a to-go class, so if you do like the cards and you want the kit, then all you have to do is place an order in my online store, and I will send you the kit for free. And with that kit, you also get a tutorial that gives you all the dimensions and everything you need for creating these cards exactly like I've created them. All right, so now I'm going to start working on the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this piece down, this piece of designer series paper. And I'm just looking to see how far up from the bottom I came. Probably maybe about right here. The hearts are kind of popping out. And then I want to make sure this is even on both sides. And then my mouse, I didn't put my mouse on dimensionals because, oh, I call it a mouse. It's not a mouse. We're going to be working with the mouse later. This is a gerbil, a gerbil, a gerbil. I think the reason, are gerbils smaller than hamsters? I don't know. I just think this guy's a gerbil. He could be a hamster. What's the difference? Does anybody know what the difference between a gerbil and a hamster is? I guess I'm going to have to Google it. I am going to put just a few dimensionals on this because he's going to be holding the banner that says, I could just hug you. So let me pull my dimensionals out again, and we'll let him do that. I could just hug you. All right, so let's go ahead and get this one done. All right, I'll lay this down here. Centered a little bit. I'm gonna double check to make sure I've got it even. That works for me. That looks good. Okay, so we've got the inside and the outside. So now basically what we're gonna do is this ends up being the back. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this piece, and there's my little ink spot, but I don't have to worry about my ink spot because it's on the back of this. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it down, and I'm going to center it in the middle of this back piece. So let's go ahead and get this piece down. I want to get it centered from side to side and top to bottom, so I can look at it this way as well. Come down maybe just a tad, I'm thinking. Okay. And then what will happen is we're going to take this piece. Let me see. Am I doing this right? I think I did it wrong. I put it upside down. How are we going to do this? Hold on, guys. I think I put it upside down. Did I? This goes like this. This goes like this. Oh, no, I didn't do it upside down. Okay, we're all good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the top piece and we're just going to adhere it right here. So we'll line these two pieces up after I put glue on that, and we're going to adhere it right there. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to do a little bit here. Okay. And then I'm going to take this top piece and we're going to line it up right here with the blue with that piece in the middle. So I'm making sure I'm getting this even all the way around. Make sure that it adheres. And then when we open it up, it's going to open up like this. Okay. However, I have another piece of designer series paper. Actually, my ink is going to show, isn't it? Doggone it. Hold on. This will open up like this. You're only going to see it if you turn it around. You can't see it from the front. Let me pull this down. You can't see it from the front. But I didn't like how this just ended there. So what I did is I took another piece of designer series paper and I glued it down. So let's do this. And then I'm going to do one more thing, just kind of for the fun of it, to hide that little spot. So let's go ahead and get this piece of designer series paper down, and then it's just going to make for a nice clean card. I could leave it just like it is, but I don't want to leave it just like it is. So we're going to go ahead and put this piece down. And now that hides that part of it. And I just happened to have in my stamp set, I happen to have an extra heart that I haven't used. So I'm thinking I want to go ahead and I just want to pay attention to which way it needs to go. All right, so the card opens this way, right? Fun fold, card opens this way. You can put your little message in here if you want to. Then this is, if we were to open it this way, this would be, this heart would need to go here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this heart down here, and it is going to go over the edge just for a second. Let me double check. I'll make sure. Yep. All right, so we're going to put this heart right here, and it's going to hide all of that ink. I didn't have to do this, but I like a nice clean card, and I didn't make this card just to not share it with someone. So I will be sharing it with somebody. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my snips, and I'm just going to snip off the edge of that heart so it's even here. So now I have this card. It's completed. Sending a big hug. I could just hug you. You could put your note in here, and then turning it over. Not that the back is important, but the back is nice and clean as well. And I'm happy with that. You could actually continue your message if you wanted to on the back. So that's our first fun fold. Isn't that fun? All right, let's go ahead and, oh, wait. One more thing I was gonna do really quickly is I have these, let me see if I can find the package. I have these basic gray and smoky slate pearls. So I'm gonna use some of these to do some embellishing. So I'm gonna take, let me see, maybe I'm gonna use the lighter color one. And I'm gonna do one up here and maybe one over here. We'll do another one down here. And we'll go ahead and do the other one right here. Normally I do like in odd numbers, but this works out good for me. All right, now this card is done and it's so cute. All right, move this off to the side and we are going to bring in the next card. And the next card, I've got a fly that's bugging me. Oh man. All right, now we've got our little badgers. This is the next fun fold that we've got. So let me bring that kit in to show you. Again, we've got the Misty Moonlight. And again, this is just a single piece. It doesn't fold. We've got a piece of designer series paper that has been scored and folded. And it's going to fit right inside here. So we'll be working with that. And then I also have our badgers that I've already stamped and colored to speed the process up. I've got a number of these hearts. I love these hearts. And then I also have a banner that we're going to stamp on. And I believe that's that for this card. So let me go ahead, and this time we're going to stamp I Could Just Hug You. This is all about your friends and hugging up. And we're going to do Misty Moonlight here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this stamped, and I'm going to bring it down. I'm not going to try to take it out of window. I know it's barely in window, but we'll get this down here so that I can get this stamped and maybe not be too much in, get my head in the camera. All right, so we've got that. Okay, I could hug you. Let's keep our fingers out of the ink this time. Clean our stamp up. And then we'll go ahead and start to assemble this one. Oops. So this started with a piece of designer series paper that is 12 inches long. Now our designer series paper is 12 by 12. So then we did 12, and then it was just scored at 2, 4, 6, and 8 inches. So every 2 inches. And then the last one is 4 inches, the big one. And this is the one that's going to be centered on the Misty Moonlight cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that now so we can start building out this base. When you are scoring on your designer series paper, and you'll actually see me do it on the next card, you need to be very, very light on your scoring. You need to score it obviously enough to make sure that you can get the fold, but the designer series paper is not as thick as the cardstock is. So if you push too hard on your designer series paper, you will cause it to crack, and you don't really want that. So you can use the designer series paper. The designer series paper is fun to do as a fun fold, but you have to be very careful with it so that you don't, I'm getting glue all over me, so that you don't tear your paper. All right, so now we've got this piece done. And then what I'm going to show you is there's an inner piece to this. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take glue to this inner piece, and I'm going to glue this piece down, and I'm going to make it one piece. So let me go ahead and get my glue out, and we're going to go ahead and glue this side of it down. And we'll go ahead, fold that down and glue it. And now you can see this is glued together. And the other thing that I'm going to do is, this is even, and I want to take off about an inch or a half an inch. So I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to bring this in, and let me see. Do I want to take off an inch or do I want to take off a half an inch? I can't remember what I did. I think I want to take off just maybe a half an inch. Let's take off a half an inch and then see if I need to take off any more. So I'm just bringing it in to my paper trimmer, lining it up. I do want it to be straight. And I'm just kind of wiggling it around. It probably would have been better for me to do it before I glued that other side down. It doesn't really make any difference, but I just wanted to, basically, when I fold this over, I want that blue edge showing. So that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So we'll move this out of the way now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere our little critters. So I'm going to put my little critters down here. To start, we're going to get them in, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to center them between these two edges. And I only need to put it on this side of my paper. So basically I'm going to go ahead and do a line here, and then it gets a little bit thinner as we go along. But I'm going to center them in between here, and then we'll be ready to go there. All right, let me turn this. But that will keep me from getting any glue on the back of this. Now, the other thing that I did is, because I used my Stampin' Blends, obviously the Stampin' Blends bleed through. And just like I did on my last card, I like to have my cards to have a nice clean look. So basically what I did is I cut out another circle, and now what I'll do is I'll glue this circle down here as well. And I could stamp some hearts on it if I wanted to. I'm looking to see if I did that on this one. I didn't. So do I have my, yes I do. Let's do that. Let's just have some fun with it. All right, so before I glue it down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on it. This is also the piece that you could write your little messages on. But I've got my hearts here, and let's just do some hearts here. Make sure you do even pressure, okay? And then I can go ahead and get this glued down. So let me get this cleaned off real quick. Pull this up so you guys can see. I'm sorry if I'm taking it out of window. Now, we'll put some glue on the back of this, and this will clean up then that bleed, if you will, from the markers. So I'm going to go ahead and get this lined up, and I think I want it to go kind of like, I'm figuring out where I want my hearts to be. So I'm going to have them right here. And then I'll just line this up. This will become one piece on my card. And I've got that. Then in here, we're going to add the sentiment, and we're going to utilize some hearts. So I'm going to go ahead, and I want my sentiment to be just behind my badgers, I guess. Is that what they are? So I'm kind of looking at it, and I think that if I lined it up right with the J on my card, then that will be enough. So I'm going to go ahead, take it up to the J, and then I'm going to, again, make sure I get this to, I want it to be behind the, my little critters. So I've got that there. And then the same thing, I'm going to take my little heart. Let me see, which one do I want to use? Because I've got one on the front too, right? Which one do I want on the front? Do I want this one on the front, or do I want this one on the front? I think I'm going to put this one on the front. And what's fun about these hearts is both sides are great. This is a debossed side, an embossed side. I think I'm going to use the debossed side out here. So let me go ahead and get this one in. And I'm going to put the embossed one here. And I'm just going to put enough on the back here. I think I need a little bit on the tip. And the rest of it, because there's some hanging over, I want to make sure that I'm not going over the edges. So this is going to be the side that's going to be on the card, and then the other part is just going to go up just a tad. I'm going to double check it just to make sure I didn't come down too far with the glue, and I absolutely did come down too far with the glue. So when you do that, you want to pull out your adhesive eraser, and this one is moving around just a little bit. Let me move it up, make sure I get a good adhere to this. Scooch it down just a tad. So this is gluing, and while it's doing that, I just want to take my adhesive eraser and make sure I get that adhesive off of there so it doesn't stick to the inside of my card. And you can kind of see as you work it, it kind of balls up into a little ball. And you just take your time, and then it just balls up into a little ball, and you can remove that. But that's removed. So now we've got that. And then the other thing that they've got is they've got another heart up here. And so what I'm going to do when I place this one is I want to make sure that I get it up high enough. And we're going to put dimensionals on the back of that. So, and let me see, which side do I want up? I think I'm going to do the embossed side up. All right, so, or the debossed side. I get confused on the differences between the two. But you've got two sides to these, and both of them are gorgeous. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're going to close this up, and we're going to set that heart over here. And then this one also goes on with dimensionals. So I'll go ahead and get those on. And which side did I decide? I think I'm trying to decide which side I wanted up. All right, so let's go ahead and get that done. And then we'll put this over here. I'm just looking to see. Actually, I put that one behind, didn't I? Let's see. We could. Actually, I'm going to leave it like it is. I like it above. This one was tucked in behind. It still shows, still works. I'm going to do some bling. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. I'm gonna use the darker ones, and let's see, we'll do one here and one of the darker ones here. Let's see, where do I want it? Maybe right here. And then I'll do another one down here. And then the other thing that we're going to do is, it's a fun fold for sure. It folds out like this, but because I've pushed these two together, let me get this into the right screen. This doesn't open up as wide because I'm confining it because I have these two together, which is fine for me. I'm happy. That doesn't bother me at all. But I don't like this popping up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals just right behind this so that there is a little bit of dimension to it, but it's not popping up like it was. So let me just pull this off. And so you have two options. My option, because I did not want the ink from the bleed when I colored the badgers, I did not want that showing. So I put this piece on to hide that. And now I can write a note here too. This is a great place for me to be able to write a note. Or you can put a strip of paper here or a strip of paper here. There's still plenty enough space for you to be able to add places to write your notes. However, if I had not done that, then this fun fold would have opened up all the way. Not this piece, but this piece would have opened up all the way. So really, it's just your choice as to how you want to do things. But here we go. We've got card number 2 done. All right, let's move into our third card. And this is our little mouse card. And this card is done mostly with designer series paper. So what I did is I took a piece of 12 by 12 and cut it down so it's 12 by 5.5. And then let me bring out that kit so I can show you how this is working. All right, so we've got the piece of 12. And then I've got a couple of pieces of basic white that I'm going to show you what we're going to do with those in just a second. I've also got a couple of circles. These were done with the circle punches. So I have the 2-inch circle punch, and I also have the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. So these circles were done with that. Then I have a piece of basic white that I basically ran through the 3D painted texture embossing folder, which is a lot of fun and it gives a lot of fun texture. So let's talk about how we're going to bring this all together. Before we do, let's get our stamping done. So I have a couple of pieces here. I think I have one more piece I thought that I cut. It's for another banner. What did I do with my envelope? So it's got to be in my envelope, maybe. I've got a little flower in my envelope that I found that I can't seem to get out. Give me just a second. Okay, that flower's out. And then I thought I had a piece of, I know, oh here, is this it? This is it. This is my other piece. Okay, so we've got everything. So let's go ahead and do our stamping first. Let me pull this stuff out of the way. Make sure I have plenty of room to work. And we're gonna bring back the Misty Moonlight again. And this time we're stamping with Sending a Hug and let's see, where are we? Sending a Hug, and so it's there when you need it, which is cute. Sending a Hug, so it's there when you need it. So let's work with this strip right now. And Sending a Hug. And I'm going to go ahead, and I've got just this tiny little strip. And so give me just a second. I'm going to get this centered as best I can on here. Sending a Big Hug. All right, we got that. Let me clean this off, and we will do, so it's there when you need it. We're going to put it on this banner. Get it inked up. So it's there when you need it. I'm pulling it down. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep it in the screen. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and go for it. Oh, well, I did it upside down, but look at there. It's good. It just was stamped upside down. That's interesting. What happened here, and I need to remember this. This is my error, but when I was putting the label on my stamp, I put it on upside down. So I have to remember with this one in particular, when I go to stamp, it's not going to make a difference on a banner because I can turn my banner over. But if I was going to stamp on my cardstock, that would have caused a problem. So my bad, my error, but now I'm going to have to remember to pay attention to that. Okay, so we've got this done. I'm just going to angle this one off, and then I'm going to stop there until I get ready to build this card out. We've got a little bit more stamping to do because we've got some hearts to stamp on our flower and on our inside piece. So let's go ahead and pull our flowers out again, our hearts, pull our hearts out again. And I'm just gonna kind of go across the card with my hearts. We'll put them here. And I think I'm gonna stop there, and then I'm gonna take my, I'm actually, let me see, I have a piece of scrap paper here. Let me see if I can pull this out. Oh, that magnet works really, really good. I have a piece of scrap paper here. I'm not going to stamp all three of the hearts on here. So I'm going to just kind of angle it off just a little bit. And then I'll have 2 hearts on there instead of 3. And then I'll put my 3 hearts up here. Okay, so we've got that. So the stamping is done. So let me clean this off. Pull these pieces off to the side. And now what we need to do is, here's my little mouse. I already got my mouse done up for you. Don't want to lose my flower. All right, let me bring in my trimmer. So what we're going to do to make this fun fold is, remember I told you that it's a 12-inch piece by basically 5.5. Again, the dimensions will be in the tutorial. But what I did is I measured 3 inches from the edge. And I've got a little notch there. I don't know if you guys can see the notch. It's right here. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take that little notch and I'm going to line it up in my track. And I'm going to take, oh, you guys can't see this. Oh, all right. Let me pull it up this way a little bit. Or maybe, let me see. For this particular thing, I'm going to go out for just a little bit and then I'll come back in. So I'm going to line my notch, or excuse me, my little mark up in the track, and I'm going to line the corner of my paper in the track. And I'm going to keep just working it back and forth until they're both in the track. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down, and I don't want to start at my corner, so I'm going to bring my blade up just a little ways, and I can go up and I can hit that mark and I can come back and hit that corner. So now I have created the fold that I'm looking for. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score at 4. I'm going to turn it over this way so I've got a flat edge. But this is a 12-inch piece, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to score at 4. And remember, gently, gently. And then I could pull my arm out. I'm not going to. I'm just going to flip this over and I'm going to score at 4 again. So basically what's happened is I've scored at 4 and I've scored at 8. Okay? Then once you've got that done, then you've got this, and this will fold in this way. Let me get my fold here. So this is going to fold in this way, and this will fold back this way. Okay? So you have your card, and I'm just making sure everything lines up appropriately. I can take my bone folder, make sure that's laying down, and I've got my card this way. All right, so now we're going to work on our inside piece. So how are we going to get our inside piece to work? What you're going to do is you're going to take the corner of this piece and you're going to line it up with the corner of this piece. So I'm going to get those two lined up. I'm going to get the edge lined up. And I'm going to flip it over. And you can see that there's this much paper showing. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off that angle. I'm just going to take my snips and I'm going to follow right along that edge. And I'm going to trim this off. Okay. So now this is cut so that I can center it onto this piece of paper. I'm going to do the exact same thing with my already embossed paper. So I'm going to line it up with this edge up here. So we've got it folded here. Here's the edge. There's the edge. I'm going to flip it over. I want to make sure I've got it lined up with that edge. And then I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to snip that off. following that line. Okay, so now when I get ready to glue this down, it's going to be lined up. Isn't that fun? Okay, so next thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and do the inside. We've got a little bit more to do on the outside. So I'm going to take my piece of basic white and we're going to adhere it to the inside of this piece. And I'm going to get it lined up, basically right about right here. Pick it up. I can do a little bit of adjusting to make sure that it lines up the way that I want it to. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to take my circle that I've stamped my hearts on, and I'm going to put it in the middle. And we're just going to line it up right here in the center. And this is where you can write your note. I love you. Thanks for being my friend, my bestie, whatever you want to add there. I'm trying to make sure I got this centered the way that I want it. Maybe move it over just a tad. I think so. There we go. All right. And then, of course, we've got the front piece. But before we do the front piece, I'm actually going to bring in some of our basic beige ribbon. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a piece that is going to be able to tuck behind. So you've seen me do this before. I'm not going to wrap it all the way around. I'm just going to tuck a piece in, and I'm going to grab my Scotch tape, just my preference, what I choose to use. And I'm going to get my first, I want to make sure I got the right side. They're both basically the same, if you will. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center this in the card, turn it over, make sure I've got enough on the other side to pull over. Let me give it a little bit more room over here. All right, so we've got this one. I'm going to tape it down. Make sure it adheres. Then I'm going to pull this one over, make sure that I've got it nice and straight. I'll fold this one over, take a piece of tape and get that down. Okay. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and adhere this. I'll tie the bow in just a second, but I'm going to put my little mouse down before I do that. So let's go ahead and get this piece adhered now. Go across. Make sure I got plenty because this is an embossed piece. So we've got a lot of peaks and valleys, and I want to make sure I've got plenty enough glue because with the ribbon as well, I want to make sure that I get it glued down really well. All right, so let me pick this up. Maybe I take it up just a tad because I want the same border all the way around. Okay, there we go. So see, it's coming together. It's coming together. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take dimensionals and we're going to put our mouse down. And the dimensionals are going to go at the top and they're going to go at the bottom. So basically it's going to straddle the ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and it's going to straddle the ribbon like that. So we're going to go ahead and get that down. Those off. I like using my take your pick. My fingers are kind of sticky. They got glue on them. All right, so let's go ahead and get our mouse down. We're going to put him about right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take some ribbon and I'm going to tie myself a bow. So I'm going to give myself about that much ribbon using my ribbon snips. And let's go ahead and get our bow tied. So we're going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and get that tied. And it's going to be a big bow. But I'm going to keep adjusting it until I get it just the way that I want it. This one needs to get a little shrunk. It's a little big. And my fingers are sticky. I did get some glue on them, so kind of sticky right now. All right, so I've got a nice big ribbon here. I'm just gonna cut off the edges here, angle them off like so. We'll do this one over here, and I can tidy it up more if I want to, but I'm happy with that. Now what I'm gonna do, just because I want this to stay put, I'm gonna take a little glue dot and I'm just gonna put it on the back of my Take Your Pick. Where's my Take Your Pick? Right here. So I'm gonna take this glue, this little glue dot, and you can see it here. I'm just gonna lift this up and I'm gonna tuck it right under. And then that will kind of help to stabilize it as well. All right, so we've got that part of it done. We're gonna open it up. Oh, we've got to do Sending a Hug. Okay, so the reason I didn't cut this off is I wasn't sure how long I wanted it to be. So Sending a Big Hug is gonna go right about here, and I want it to end underneath my bow. So I don't want you to see where the edge of it is. So it looks to me like it's going to be right about here. Okay, and then I'm going to take some little mini dimensionals, and we're going to adhere this with the little mini dimensionals. Since this is a little mini banner, and because the mouse is already popped up, I don't need to put any dimensionals behind this because it'll be popped up because of the mouse. So it's really just on the very edges of each one of them. And if I wanted to, I could probably put a little bit of glue down here. I don't think I'm going to need it, but if you want it to be secure, you could, and I'll do it anyway. You could just put just a tiny bit of glue right here, and then when you go to place this, that will be down as well. So let me go ahead and get that centered the way that I want it. Let's see, I haven't pushed down on it yet. I think I want it right there. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go to the inside again. We've got another banner. Where did my banner go? It's right here. And we're also gonna put it on dimensionals. So let's use the bigger dimensionals. So they're sending a big hug, so it's there when you need it. So let's go ahead and get this down. And I'll just do 3. All right, and pick these off. See how much easier that is? Oh my goodness. All right, we'll do that. And I think I'm just gonna put it down right about here. That looks good for me. And then I'll put a dimensional behind my flower. So let's go ahead and do that. That's a big dimensional. It's gonna need a little dimensional. I don't want it showing through. So we'll go ahead and put that right there in the center. Pick that off. We're going to put our flower right here. I'll put it right up kind of next to my banner. And then we're going to do some more embellishing with our, sorry about that, with our little, what am I calling these? These are Basic Gray and Smoky Slate Pearl. So we're gonna put one there, and then we're gonna close this up, and I'm gonna bring in a couple more, and we're gonna put one up here, and we're gonna put another one. I want a dark one. We're gonna do a dark one down here, and then I will put one right here next to our mouse. And this card is now done as well. How fun was that? Yay! Okay, so all 3 cards, let me clean up my space just a little bit so I can bring these all back in. And we've got our little mouse card, and then we had our badger cards that we did. And then we also have our little walrus cards. Now remember, our badger card opens up like this. So it's a little fun fold. You know, one of the things that you could do if you wanted to is you could actually kind of slice a little a little slice here, and you could actually fit a gift card in there as well. So the gift card would go back behind here, and you could fit a gift card in there as well. So that's fun. And then of course we've got our walruses. This one opens up this way, so it makes for a nice big card. All right, so all three of our fun folds using our Hearts and Hug set with our little critters. How fun was that? All right, let me come back to you. Let's see, I'm right here. Oh, so sorry that I couldn't be here with you guys live tonight. The best intentions, it just didn't work out for me. I do need to be at class at 6, and my class goes from 6 to 9. So I thought the best thing that I could do is go ahead and get this class recorded ahead of time and then share it with you guys at 7. I'll get it scheduled so that you guys will get it at 7. And of course, it'll be up on YouTube as well. Remember, this is a to-go class. If there is anything that you are interested in or you want this kit for free, all the information is out on my website. You can go out and check out my website. And then the last thing I'll do is ask if you guys would help support this channel by both liking on Facebook and on YouTube, or subscribing, either one. It helps my channel immensely. And obviously it will be growing more and more and more as I start to work this job full time after I retire. So again, thank you so much. And I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye, everyone.